Hi friends, it's Morah Brachie here. Today we're going to learn about this week's Parsha. So, what is this week's Parsha? The Parsha of this week is Parshas Behalosecha. So, we're going to start by singing our song. So how about you join me? The Parsha of the week is Behalosecha, Behalosecha, Behalosecha. The Parsha of the week is Behalosecha, Behalosecha. Amazing, friends. That was so good. All right. There's so many things that happen in this week's Parsha. So how about we go over a few of the things that happened? So we're going to start with talking about something called Pesach Sheni. What is Pesach Sheni? So many years ago, friends, when the Yidden were in the desert, and there were some Yidden who weren't able to bring the Karban Pesach, and they weren't able to celebrate Pesach like all of the other Yidden. That's because they were tamei. They were not pure, and it wasn't their fault. It was just at the time they weren't able to do it because they weren't pure. And they really wanted to do a mitzvah for Hashem, and they really wanted to bring a Karban Pesach. So, when they went to Moshe and they said, Moshe, please ask Hashem if we can bring another Karban because we want to celebrate Pesach Sheni and we want to do such a big mitzvah. And Moshe saw how excited those Yidden were, and they really wanted to do a mitzvah. So Moshe said, give me one moment, I'm going to ask Hashem. So Moshe went to Hashem, and Moshe said, look at all these Yidden who want to do such a big mitzvah. What should they do? And Hashem said, you know what? I see how they want to do this mitzvah so excitingly. I want to give them another chance. I'm going to give them a second chance because they weren't able to do it before. So Hashem said, you know what? Let them do Pesach Sheni. Let them do the mitzvah now. And they got to do the mitzvah on the 14th day of Nisan. On the 14th day of Nisan was Pesach Sheni. And those Yidden got to do Karban Pesach. And guess what? Nowadays, we eat matzah. You see this little boy? He's eating matzah. And he's eating matzah on Pesach Sheni. Because even though we ate it on Pesach, but for those people who forgot, they got a second chance. Or if they weren't able to, right? We get a second chance on Pesach Sheni to eat matzah. And therefore, every single year, we have like a second Pesach. It's for just one day, but we get to celebrate Pesach Sheni and eat matzah to remember. All right, friends, that's really one thing that we learn about in this week's Parsha. But I want to talk to you about a few more things. So another thing we talk about is the man. Friends, what is man? Well, when the Yidden were in the desert, they needed to eat food. Where did they get food from? Hashem made a big miracle. That food came from the sky. It fell from the sky. Can you imagine? Can you imagine food falling from the sky? That is so interesting, right, friends? Well, guess what? There was something called mun. It almost looked like maybe snow, if you can imagine snow. It was small, white little things that fell down from the sky and onto the ground. You see? You see these pieces? That's the mun. And when they ate it, it tasted like whatever you wanted it to taste like. Can you imagine eating something that it tasted like whatever you wanted? Like if you wanted to eat a yummy donut or a cookie, or you wanted a really yummy sandwich or anything you wanted, it could taste like that. That's what it tasted like. But Eden had it so much, and they decided that they wanted meat. They didn't want to have the mun anymore. They were complaining a little bit. But that's what happened in this week's Parsha. So that's something interesting to know. Also, friends, well, guess what? When the Yidden were this all happened while the Yidden were in the desert. And when they were in the desert, the Yidden always had so many questions. They just became the chosen nation, right, from Hashem. And they had so many questions, and they went to Moshe. But Moshe is only one person. And to have all those questions was so much. So you know what Moshe decided? Moshe came up with a smart idea. Moshe decided, I'm going to appoint judges, people to help answer all these questions. So Moshe chose 70 judges. 70. That's so many. And guess what? They helped answer the questions of the Yidden. So if any of the Yidden had a question, they went to the judges. And if mostly the judges were able to answer, but if, let's say, the judges thought this question is too hard, or maybe we need someone else to answer it, then they went to Moshe. Only if they really needed Moshe to answer the question, then they went to Moshe. But otherwise, all these judges, they were able to help answer the questions. And it made it easier for Moshe to help lead the Yidden because he didn't have so many questions to answer. And that's some of the things that we learned in this week's Parsha. And I want to thank you, friends, for joining me today. And I can't wait to see you next time. Bye!